It is time now for Community Update with Chris Mitchell, General Manager, and Jason E. Walls, Assistant General Manager. Here now is Chris and Jason.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen of Sun Lakes, to today's At the Movies with Jason and Chris. I'm very excited about today's movie. We're going to be talking about a classic John Wayne film, Big Jake, one of my personal favorites. As a young man, I used to watch that and really enjoy it. So let's talk about that movie. Did you...
Wait, Chris, I think you got the wrong show here.
Wait. Oh, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. This is the wrong show. That's our gig after hours. I do apologize. So, welcome. This must be the administration update, I think.
That would be correct. Yes, sir.
There's just so many meetings and everything. So, Jason, to get me back on track, can you give us some information updates, please?
Yes, Chris, of course. We got a lot going on here in Sun Lakes. Biggest thing is the pool's open back up, without the restrictions, so there's no need to worry about the capacity, calling for reservations. The South Pool, we are still kind of restricting a little bit, but again, no need to take reservations, and that holds true for the gyms as well. So you guys out there have fun, start doing some activities. The weather's beautiful, so enjoy it. The other thing is you remember when we installed roughly 10 or so dog or pet waste stations around the community?
Because we were having some issues.
Yes, people were not willing to clean up the mess, but putting those out, I think it has helped out a lot. But I just want to put a reminder out there, please use those. They're there for your use and your convenience when you're out walking your pets. And lastly, Chris, I'd like to talk about...
we don't have to talk about it.
Sorry, the delegates meeting.
Yes.
They did move it. If you remember, it's always traditionally been the second Thursday of the month. However, looking at the timeline, it works a lot better if it's the week after the board meeting. That way the delegates can get the information a lot sooner and get it out in their newsletter a lot quicker. I also know that the marketing committee is doing their insert in there that they are going to do on all administration and Sun Lakes updates. So that way everybody's getting the same information.
Right.
We have a lot of times some people hear things differently and write it down differently, and it comes across in a different tone or meaning something different. So this will be a better way to standardize it and make sure everybody's getting the same information.
Good deal. Yeah, I'm really excited because I think this board, and congratulations to the new board that was seated. I think this board is going to be having or developing some projects for the delegates. So I'm also excited about that. I'm sure we'll be talking about that later on.
Oh yes, there'll be a lot coming down the line here. It's going to be a busy year.
It will be.
It
will be. Okay. I'm going to go over a couple. When we were developing the script for this admin update, I went to the Planning and Compliance Department to talk about kind of what are their 5 top violations. Now, Etanisla is the manager for Planning and Compliance, and I asked for some bullet points, but she even did better. She just wrote my script. And so instead of trying to hack it and put it in my style, I'm just going to read it, if you don't mind. I avoid reading scripts and everything during these, but it was so good, I'm going to read it because these are very important. These are what we're seeing, violations, and they kind of course, Planning Compliance has to enforce these rules and regulations, and sometimes the members can get upset. So I wanted to talk about these top 5 violations in the hope that it could bring awareness to the members, and in turn, these are things that members can avoid doing. So first off, we're going to go with the leading violation, landscaping in disrepair. That's something you and I get calls when the CAC sometimes going around. Doug Swenson, shout out to you. Chairperson for the CAC goes around, sees that. And some of the delegates have been helping us out. Lily Leowitz and others have been pointing out some of these homes, which we do appreciate that. But for the leading violation, front yards and rear visible yards from the golf course in a state of repair are either burdened with plants in need of trimming or suffering from a lack of watering, causing plant death and exposure of dirt. These yards are often have been taken over by weeds from the lack of attention. I know that's on my honey-do list at home. If the landscaping can be restored with attention and work without changing the nature of the planting, then no application is needed. So going, pulling the weeds, trimming everything, if you can do that, that doesn't require an application. The homeowner may work with the Planning and Compliance Department to create a schedule for maintenance. However, if the disrepair is such that major work is required to bring the property into compliance, then an application for landscaping is required and must be submitted as soon as possible. Okay, the second highest violation, stucco and or trim surfaces in disrepair. The stucco and or trim surfaces of the home are subject to weathering by the elements. Of course, this is a windy area, sand, dirt, all of that wears down the paint. So as the years accumulate, so do the fading, discolorations, cracking, and peeling. I was wondering, is that skin or is that paint? I'm sorry. But as I said again, as the years accumulate, so do the fading, discoloration, cracking, and peeling of the paint on the home surfaces. If the property deteriorates to the point where it is noticeable, a violation letter will be sent regardless of the painting deadline of the home. If the surface can be restored to original condition, then an application is not required. However, if the area is extensive or the homeowner wishes to change the paint color as an outcome of the work, then an application for painting is required and must be submitted as soon as possible. Okay, the third top violation that we get here at the association, parking citations. Now, as a reminder, guests visiting for the day will need an overnight pass if they're going to be visiting past midnight. Now, Jason, we've been in hearings. Members have forgotten to a guest being called in, and they stay overnight. They've forgotten to get an overnight pass. They just get a day pass, but after midnight, they get a citation. And as a reminder, sidewalks and neighboring driveways must be kept clear. In the condo sub-associations, that's Jason's realm, the streets must be clear, and as such, street parking is limited to 2 hours for loading and unloading. While there is no assigned parking in the main association, parking in the condos is limited to marked parking stalls only. Backing into parking stalls, not permitted. The parking lots at the clubhouse are reserved for day use only. Number 4, sorry. This is another one. This kind of upsets the MAC too, the Master Architectural Committee. Shout out to David Keeley, the chairperson there. Work without prior approval. This is where I'm going to try to get some work done. It requires an application, and if it is spotted by the association, that's going to be reported, and that could cause an issue. So the governing documents require that any changes to the exterior of the home be submitted to the Master Architectural Committee and approved by them prior to the beginning of work. This includes any changes to the rear yard of a single-family home and the exclusive use areas of condo units. This provision catches many residents that are new to HOA living by surprise, as the idea of having to ask 5 complete strangers on the MAC for permission to re-landscape a yard that no one else sees can feel quite invasive. And that is true. We've had some, why are these members on the MAC inquiring about it? Again, we're trying to follow the standards, the governing documents set forth the architectural standards that we have to follow. To resolve a violation for completing work without prior approval, make an appointment with Planning and Compliance Department to assist you with the completion of an application to present to the Master Architectural Committee to review the changes. Be prepared to be asked to make further changes to bring the property into compliance, or if the governing documents prohibit the work, to undo the work completely. And that happened, Jason. Remember, there was one that the homeowner had done without approval, made several changes, had to go back and change it to bring it into compliance. So.
That is correct. And one little point on that, Chris, with the condos, we've had in the past where people have wanted to make interior changes. That is something else with the condo, since we own the exterior, the association owns the exterior of the building, that is something we need prior approval from as well.
Right.
So if somebody does want to make interior modifications to a condo, they need to reach out to the Planning and Compliance Department.
Right. And they're there to help you. They're there, just call them. And the 5th highest violation, excessive ornaments. Ornaments are defined as decorations adding to the exterior of the homes or added to the exterior of the homes that do not require permanent installation into the landscaping. They may be flags or plaques affixed to the wall to include family names, window treatments and coverings visible from the common area, garden gnomes, we've had an invasion of those, statuettes of animals and children, decorative metal flowers, and potted plants of any size. The governing documents restrict the number of these ornaments in a single family home to 8 visible items. This is key, 8. That is, so if you have more than 8, you're going to get a letter from Planning Compliance saying you're out of compliance. So this means 8 items visible from the front of the home and 8 visible from the rear and or golf course side of the home. Excuse me. In the condo subassociations, this number is 5. Many residents keep their landscaping simple and use their ornaments to add visual variety to their home. A violation notice is not a condemnation of the personal choices that you've made. Instead, that letter that is sent to you, that violation letter, is seeking to resolve the violation. The resident will need to reduce the number of placed ornaments to 8. No application is needed to resolve the violation, though homeowners have a right to request an exception through the Master Architectural Committee, and that can be done by contacting Planning and Compliance. So I think, Jason, those are the top 5 items Planning and Compliance has that we see a lot of. So I hope this will help. Any questions, again, please contact Planning and Compliance. And Jason, I think we have a list of who to contact and what they can help you with, right?
You're right, Chris. Big question that you get all the time is, who do I need to contact? Who do I need to reach out to get this work done? Or where can I get paint samples? Who do I need to talk to? So we have a few associates that are in that department there that take care of each little area. The first one is Grant, and Grant Casnelos. He's an inspector. What he does is he goes around for the escrow inspections, general violations. He's the one that you'd want to call to follow up on it or get any questions answered for those. He also deals with just complaints from a neighboring neighbor. You know, a person calls in and their neighbor is being disruptive. They're throwing trash or watering their overspray on their land. Just call Grant. He'll be able to get you through the right steps and be able to follow that process along. Candace Lane, she takes care of your parking and more of your safety violations. So anytime you get a little parking violation or something of that nature, you want to give her a call. She's the one that's going to be reaching out to you. She's the one that's going to sit in with the safety committee on those hearings. So call Candace. She'll be able to help you out with those. Trash can or debris, or you need a dumpster for. That's one of the things we always get. Those roll-offs that you can get from Waste Management, or all you got to do is call us. We can get you a permit. You're able to have it in your front yard for a bit. 2 weeks is pretty standard. But again, you can petition the board, ask the board for a variance, and get a longer request on that.
Yeah, it's important to get that permission, don't
That is.
Because we get a lot of complaints from the surrounding neighbors.
Correct. So we want to make sure we follow those steps. Now, Edgar Lagunas, he's the one that he deals with all the applications that come in for anywhere from painting to concrete work to landscape. So he's who you're going to want to reach out to if you have any questions at all regarding how do I go through this process? What am I going to need? Do I need something from the city? What do I need from the contractor? He's going to be able to sit there and walk you step by step. If you need a paint palette, what paints are allowed, what are not. He's the person that you're going to want to call. And then at Tanisla, you have, she is the manager of the department. She's the one you're really going to want to call when you, later on, once you receive that violation letter or you're wanting to appeal a MAC decision or a safety decision, that's who you're going to want to reach out to there. She's pretty much your top level, going to deal with all those further along processes.
Kind of like an appeal thing or something.
Correct, exactly. She's also going to be the one, if you're reading through the governing documents, which I hope everybody has, if you have questions on how it's interpreted or what it exactly means, she's going to be the one that's going to be able to lay it out for you and explain to you what part of the governing documents pertains to your issue.
Right.
So again, she's going to be able to your main answer for what governs the community.
Yes.
So
and you know what, that brings up a good point. I'm hoping that this list that Jason read provides some of the information, because we've seen that people just go, I don't want to talk to any of the, and I just want to talk to the manager. And what that does is that can frustrate the homeowners because the homeowners are calling at Tenisla. It can frustrate at Tenisla because these are items that could have been handled by Grant, Candace, Edgar, and it takes more time explaining. And in the end, it still has to go back to Edgar for an application. That's one of the things that's, I call it, okay, great, but I'm now going to have to transfer you back to Edgar to handle it. So just members, I ask that you be mindful of this. If it's applications, that's where we see a bunch of it. Correct. Contact Edgar. He's there to help.
Yep.
Hope that helps.
It does. And Chris, I see you have a Lifestyles there.
What? I do? Oh. No, this is my at the movies. What are you talking about? Okay.
That's a great place to find this information. Now, how do I find these people? How do I contact them? Where's their number? Where's their email? Page 2 in the Lifestyles right there.
You're not 3, page 2.
Page 2.
Oh, there it is, page 2. Hey.
In that little purple section there, that has all the numbers for administration, for recreation, golf course maintenance, restaurant, operations. So that's where you're going to want to find all that information out. Candace, Edgar, Grant, and Tenisla are all listed in there.
Bam, right there. Very close to the color of your shirt, but this is a little darker. That is a nice shirt, though.
Thank you very much.
Okay, that's it. So I think we gave some updates on that. That's good. Let's move along to the next section. And okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, oh my gosh, this is an area we have also received a lot of feedback, constructive criticism from the homeowners. It's regarding the plants that are on 14 through 16. And so to use the words of someone in the past, these dead plants, the rumor of the lantana's demise is greatly exaggerated. There have been a lot of members have gone and said, well, the branches have snapped. That's not, when the plants go dormant, it's the root that you have to look at if they're still green. The branches will break off. And so we received a lot of calls saying everything is dead. It's not. You got to remember the area of 14 through 16 is wide open between the homes, and cool air, frost can easily traverse that area, causing these plants to go dormant. And if you remember, we had something on that ground here that we don't normally get, some snow. Oh, there was that really snow. Added to the issue of the frost damage that I should have brought Isabella for that snow. That would have been nice. Yes. Snow angels on the golf course. But they didn't die. Now some, not all of them died. Some did die. They couldn't take the frost. And so what we did is we've worked with artistic maintenance. They've helped out because the original plan was developed a little differently, and with the board and artistic, we've looked at saying what are some of the species that are robust enough to survive. Yeah. And so the ones that have been chosen are the red salvias, the lowboy pyracantha, and the society garlic. Yes, that is society garlic. I had to look it up myself. So these areas have already been, the area on 14 has already been addressed because that was a high visibility area near the tee box. So that has been addressed. The areas on 15 and 16 with the lantana, they've been trimmed back, and so now we're starting to see there's growth in it. There's, again, in the base of it, the roots there, it's green. Mark Schleiden's gone out there. Mark Birchfield has gone out there. Monaco from Artistic has gone out there to confirm this. And so we're watching that. And if there's some that do die, we will then address that with the same plant palette that I just read. But 14 has been done. So again, that we are watching that. Also, I think the board is going to be looking at some tree issues. Areas that, again, the board did approve tree maintenance for common area and Mark Birchfield's golf course. So we'll be looking for that. That will be done throughout the year. And we'll give you some more updates on the golf course, trees and plants as we go on. So Jason, what else do we have going on? So something else that has been really coming up and has been for a long time is the administration office. Is it open? How do I get in there? I need stuff done. Did we work from home?
Not that I recall.
No,
I recall us coming in here every
we've
day.
been here through the pandemic in
That's
that
right.
office. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
now things have changed, processes and procedures. But no, we've been here, and as things release and open up more, we're able to get back to somewhat more normal operations in the administration office. However, with RFID stickers, that's the little stickers that go
Yes.
on your headlight that allows you to use the resident lane coming into the community. We do have 2 employees that do handle those, and they'll go out there and replace them, or put a new one on there for you. However,
I think they're going to meet one of those people later, I think.
I believe they are. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Look forward to that.
We do have, like I said, the 2 people, but you got to keep in mind the weather. Putting on those little stickers, if it's the high humidity when we have rain, or a real cloudy day, it's not the greatest to put that on there. A lot of times the adhesive doesn't really adhere well, and it can come off.
Right.
So we do wait, and we want to do them when we have a day with low humidity and not a chance of rain. But keep in mind, we do want to make an appointment for those. You don't want to just stop in and do it. If you remember, we did downsize a little bit,
Yes,
and so losing some staff that helped it out with the front office is putting in the transponders, put in all the data. See, it's not just putting a sticker on there. It's a whole form that's got to be filled out and put into the computer, put into the system, scanned in, put it in the homeowner file. So it's a real process. So you want to make sure you still make an appointment, and that goes for registering as a tenant or a resident as well.
That's right.
You have your new homeowner orientations that Cheryl does. Those you'll make an appointment for. Great one-on-one personal service.
That is true.
And answering any questions you have about the community there. But again, the big thing is keep in mind, make an appointment, give us a call, leave a message. That is one big thing.
Yes.
A lot of times, you get a voicemail, and it's either an unknown number. Maybe sometimes you get lucky and you have the number, and you can call them back, but there's no message. It just hangs up. So it just delays the process of getting back.
Right.
So if you do call and you don't get somebody, make sure that you leave a message. If it's real important, you need somebody right away, call the front desk, the front reception desk.
Linda.
That's it. Linda Vang there at the front desk. She can transfer you and get you to who you need to speak with. Again, that number's on that page 2 there in the lifestyle.
That's it. Okay. Boy, this is an important document, isn't it?
Hey, you know what? Everything you need to know about Sun Lakes, for the most part, what's going on in here is in that book. So,
I just have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Do the RFID stickers last forever?
That's a good point. Some people think they do. I mean, heck, with technology these days, you think that you would be able to make something that lasts forever, but unfortunately it doesn't. Especially here up in the pass area, where we go from hot weather to, as we've seen, 0, getting some snow.
Yes.
Over time, they do expand and contract. The adhesive will lose its glue, or the stickiness of it. The little black RFID little reader that's on there sometimes will wear out. Car washes, things like that, and eventually wear it down over time.
True.
We did reach out to the manufacturer, and they couldn't give us a guarantee. They said they've had some that lasted 30 days, some that have lasted 5 years.
Right.
So it's really a guess, a real an if. If you keep it in your garage, it could possibly extend the life. But again, that's not guaranteed.
I think there's how many days are guaranteed?
We guarantee 30 days here with the association. So if it does not work, or a lot of times it's mistaken between broken and not working, or something happened. Again, with technology, it's all done by computer. You may just need to be reset. There's a lot of times where if you give us a call, we can get it reset for you, and that usually will solve the problem.
That's right.
But again, within 30 days, come back and see us, and we can check that out for you.
Got it. Okay, good deal. Okay, I'm going to give a little more update on something else that I've been getting emails on, and one was a letter that I received from a homeowner that was concerned of why we were not opening the lounge and restaurant faster. In that letter, they had stated, well, I have the budget, so why am I not using it? And that was a helpful letter in that it helped me develop my letter to the community from the message from the GM. Now, in it, ladies and gentlemen, you kind of find out, and if you've happened to walk around the community, in Banning, Beaumont, and looked at some of the restaurants, they all have for hiring. You go to Banning, you go to Kentucky Fried Chicken, you go through the drive-thru and there's a little sticker. Just for an interview, coming in for an interview, we'll give you a free chicken sandwich. Many of you may watch CNBC like myself or other financial news, and you'll notice that right now there is a shortage. Even though you get the data from the government of unemployment, they say, well, it's high. There still is a shortage of service level positions. And in my article that I wrote about, I gave you, I'm going to say I got mine first before CNBC, but that's just me. I think I'm not going to take credit for that. But a couple of things that are happening. Right now, when we were hiring, we were doing, we knew we were going to open up, and the board had said, let's start preparing. The same time, the casinos, a lot of other service areas were hiring at the same time. So suddenly you have this huge demand, and there is a small supply, because I also, not only do we try to get people from Banning Beaumont, we try to pull from Hemet, Temecula, Riverside, Coachella Valley, we try to get to. And meanwhile, and we forget, there are businesses that are there, and they're trying to hire as well. And so what we've seen is it's a difficulty finding competent staff. So when the issue is that there's a budget, I'm going to actually take that comment, and that's something that the board is looking at, because what you may see, I'm not an economist, I just minored in it in college, but you will start to see wage inflation. You're not hearing a lot of inflation. This is your economic moment of the day. But
did you know
the economic conditions? But though there's not a lot of inflation, there's inflation in some sectors of the economy. You will start to see wage inflation, because what has happened, it's a supply and demand. Where there is a large demand and low supply, that's going to say, I need something to entice me to work for X dollar amount. I will not accept minimum wage. I heard McDonald's over here is offering $16 to start. Others are saying, hey, work for me for 90 days and I'll give you a $500 bonus. And so what this puts our association, and how what happens in the world affects us, is I'm trying to compete. McDonald's, $16 an hour, I'm paying $14. And so what the board is going to be considering, what we've been talking about, is we may have to, in order to satisfy the members' needs of opening the veranda and the lounge, I need more people. Ergo, I must pay more. What effect does that have on prices for drinks, prices for food, the assessment? And so these are things that the board and staff are working together on to address and say, maybe we do need to raise our starting wage. You know, a funny thing is we went to a temp agency. Temp agencies for restaurant and lounge, they have been limited because those people are finding permanent jobs. Or how our model is based on part-time, people are offering full-time and benefits to bring these people in. And one we called, food and beverage team called, you're going to meet Shannon later today, she's going to be talking, doing an interview, but they contacted for a dishwasher, and the company said, you got it, the fully loaded rate is $28.50 for a dishwasher. And so this is the thing, a lot of the homeowners, and I'm trying to take some time, is educate the homeowners, because I think there is a misconception that staff and the board are not doing everything they can to open these facilities. I want to open the facilities. Jason wants to open the facilities. The board, Lee and Bob want to open the facilities here. The issue is, yes, I have the facility. Yes, I have the alcohol ready to go. I've got the jiggers and everything ready. I don't have the competent staff that I need to open. And so that's what we're working on. And so, again, this is something to continue to watch. The board staff will be meeting very shortly to go over this. And whatever you do, and I want to just take one more moment, whatever we do for one area of wages increase, that has a ripple effect of affecting others. So is it fair, I ponder to you, the audience, is it fair to start out a server at $16 an hour, yet pay a employee on golf course maintenance who's worked here 25 years, $15.50? I ponder, is that fair? Should we be doing that? And my contention is, no, I think we need to be fair, and that is what's called parity. If I change one area, I should change others, because we're also starting to see, it's not only restaurant, We're also starting to see poaching.
That's it.
In operations. Mark Schleiden's group, they know a lot of stuff. They deal with electricity, water, plumbing, concrete, etc. Well, for a construction group, that's pretty enticing. That's a well-trained person already. I'll pay $25 an hour for him to come over. 25? But I'm only paying 16. So you kind of get the issue that we're dealing with behind the scenes of how do I retain my good staff? How do I bring in good staff to serve the members? And so this is not going to only be this year. This is also going to be an issue next year as minimum wage goes up $15 January 1st, 2022, and the year after that. So the next 3 years are going to be very difficult. And so the board knows that. They are getting ready for this challenge. We're ready for that challenge. But I ask community for your patience during this time, because we do want to provide you the best services we can and provide you the best team of staff members that we can. We're just going through right now this issue that we're going to work through. And I'll give you more updates later to come. And so
yeah, thank you, Chris. That's a great point. And like you said, it doesn't just affect restaurant and lounge, it affects all other departments. And you know, while with that, which is hindering us as well, is the economic relief and benefits that the federal
forgot to mention that, yes,
state is giving in regards to unemployment. You know, it's a little hard to bring people back when they're sitting at home making an additional $300 a week on top.
You're right, Jason.
So it's a little tough right now. I'm looking forward, honestly, when we can get over all this and get back to normal and bring people back. So,
do you want an economic corner as well? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I did not minor in economics in college. So.
Got it. Okay. What do you got, Jason?
What I got is the subs. We got kind of quite a bit going on. The big thing is the subs released and opened up their pools unrestricted, just like the Master Association did start.
No limitations, right?
No limitations. All we just ask is that you, as a responsible adult, you know, sanitize and take care of your own little area there. You know, we always get the question is, you know, don't treat us like children, don't babysit us. But and so with that, you know, it comes a little bit more responsibility that they need to put on themselves as residents. So with that, again, that goes for the gyms too. You know, make sure you just wipe down your area.
Please wipe down your area.
Treat it like it'd be your own house. You know, and that's what that's the big thing. You know, you as residents, you guys all own this. This is technically an extension of your house per se. Treat it with respect and kind
of like pet waste too. Please pick up after.
That's it. You know, you wouldn't you know, leave it on your front yard or backyard sitting there for days. So you know, pick it up and throw it in the trash.
That's right.
So with the subs, like I said, the pool's open back up. And one thing with the subs, you know, with the Master, you got people around the clubhouse all the time, whether it be a monitor or whatnot. The subs are not so much. So if there's an issue out at the pool that you're having, please call patrol. You know, call the front gate. They'll send out a patrol unit and handle the situation. So I guess that's the big thing. I know this past weekend we just opened up, and I had a few reports from things going on. So again, my big thing is call the gate, have patrol come out, and they can handle it and write up an incident report, and then we can deal with that on the administration side.
Good deal.
Lakeside community is getting some trim repainting done this year.
Nice.
So we break it up into 2 phases. That way it's not all at one time. It's just easier on the reserves and easier on the budget. This year we're doing phase 1. So that'll be coming up probably in the summertime once the weather warms up. Mark and his team will be getting out notices to those homeowners that will be affected. With that, the phase 2, the ones that aren't done this year, will be done next year.
Got it.
Other things that are noticeable, a lot of our residents in the subs received notices from the gas company. Now what they weren't like an emergency or a shut-off notice. What they were is just to let you know. 30 years ago when they built the condos, regulations, laws weren't what they are today. They've changed. So with that, you may see one that says your gas meter is too close to your window or too close to your garage vent. What we reached out to the gas company. The gas company said, we understand. Pretty much we're sorry to do this, but it's just writing it up for their end. They don't expect us to do anything. They don't expect to do anything on their end. But what we have gotten and what we're working with them is they're going to create a notice for us to get out to our residents.
Good deal.
Informing them what this was, because it was kind of a scary thing. You have somebody that a lady that lives by herself. She gets this notice about her, her gas meter, and it's a scary thing.
Am I in danger? Is it?
Correct.
Yes,
correct.
Right.
So if any residents do have any questions or anything, reach out to myself or Mark Schleiden, and we can definitely help you along the way. But as soon as we do get something from the gas company, we'll be posting that for the residents.
Good deal.
One other thing is the audits went out.
Yes.
So just want to let everybody know that you should have received your audit. The subs will receive it with the master. So they'll receive it in one packet. So both of them should have
Good.
been there. So
deal.
again, those went out by April 29th, I believe. So they should be at their home. Other than that, Chris, that's all the updates I have. Again, with the pools, remember right now we don't have pool monitors.
Right.
That's
It's for the month, right?
Until Memorial Day. They'll start back
Okay,
at Memorial
got
Day.
it,
So we've
got
always gone Memorial Day through Labor Day. So they will be back at the normal hours there. They go usually 9 to 3, and that covers the children's hours from 10 to 2. So it allows that hour before and that hour after. Remember, children are allowed 10 to 2. Once that 2 o'clock hits, they can't be in the pool or on the immediate deck. At the main, they can be by the barbecue area and the grass area, but not on the deck. So that's kind of the big updates that we have from the subs, Chris.
Good deal. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you're enjoying this series and the continued topics that we'll be bringing up. I think in the next couple of months, we'll be giving an update on the budget. We're going to be starting budget season as my little economics talk that I just had earlier. We're going to be seeing that effect during the budget process. I think we're going to also talk about the roads. I think that's a project that's coming up. And so right now, I think we've got some things that we are working on, but we're also going to slow down on some of the reserve expenditures. That was a key thing the board talked about during before the transition to the new board. Is they purchased some of the golf course equipment replacement, and I just want to let you know just very quickly, though things seem like a large amount, $300,000 for pieces of equipment, the equipment was needed, especially Birch's golf course maintenance items. We had equipment that was falling apart, not being used. And you have to remember, as golfers, you want to be on that course quick. Well, if I have to slow down because I only have one machine working because the other two are not, that slows down how fast I can get cutting the greens, the fairways. And so this was needed. But the board is also cognizant of the reserves and making sure that we're watching where we're at with how much money we have, how the investments are going with that. So that's something that we'll also be talking about during this budget piece. But again, if you have comments or topics that you think that we're missing, I invite you to reach out. Good Day Sun Lakes. Next couple topics we'll be talking about probably budget as well. Do you think we can talk about comic book speculation? Because that's one that I like. We can talk about Bitcoin and Dogecoin, though I think there's some issues there, but that's a topic for another day. So I want to say on behalf of Jason and myself, thank you very much for joining us. Have a wonderful day. Take care and be safe. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.